when you were talking, there was a Lil Wayne lyric that came up. I'm gonna read it real quick. Mm-hmm. You had a lot of moments that didn't last forever. Now you in a corner trying to put it together. How to love.
Oh wow, yeah.
I was gonna kind of sneak in a what is love question. I won't do that. That's too much. But let's say, what? How have you learned to love? I guess your partner, but I think it's more important for yourself before you can give it to anybody else. Like how to love? Like what? Honestly, what is love? I guess we'll go there. What is it? How to? We'll go there.
Well, when it comes to how to love, it's really in a perspective of everybody has their own perspective. So that's why that question is so hard to answer. Everybody has their own perspective, but you have to love yourself first. And that's one of the things I definitely had to learn. I would put everybody in front of me and then try to figure out how to love them. And I wasn't taking care of myself. Kind of goes by what we were talking about earlier, like super catering to someone as compared to just doing what they would normally like and don't do what they don't like. And watching everything just kind of fall where they need to fall. So, love is just a perspective of a whole bunch of likes together in something that you love often, or something that you see often, something that's happening often that you like, and you grow to like it a lot more. But love is also unconditional. Love is, as I saw it on a movie, said, love is not having to say that you're sorry. It's so many elements when it love. Love is this one big onion and it's different things, but it's also different perspectives. Somebody might say love is when you go get tattoos together, and I don't have any tattoos, so you can't really rate that. But I love women with tattoos, so it just you can't. It's very ironic, but it just really depends. But you really have to love yourself first, and you have to learn how to put yourself first and say, it's okay either to be alone, or it's okay to say no. It's okay to say I don't want this. It's okay to say I do want this, because we'll get wrapped up in trying to please everyone else, and we'll be sad in the inside because we're not even trying to figure out how to please ourselves, or trying to the other person is not even trying to figure out how to please you. They're just trying to please themselves by being around you, but not really getting to know who you are. And saying, if a woman told you that she didn't want to sleep with you, but you really liked her, don't sleep with her. Just get to know her. Just talk to her. And that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? But because you have to figure out that's how people get caught up in these marriages. Hey, the sex is great, but do I love this person? I love the sex, but do I love this person? Do you feel like this person is going to be there for you? Do you feel like this person is going to be there for you in a certain way that you need to be? So you can't really use that. You love sex, but is that love? No, it's not. That's just a part of it.
Convoluted, bro. You have some fire ass connection, some fire ass sex, but you can't stand that person.
But you can't stand them. like be just walking around digging their draws out their booty, but it's good.
It's good fire. It be fire, but then you be looking at every time. I remember one time I had a situation like that where it's like it was so good, it was so fire, but then when she would sleep, I would just like wake up in the middle. She was such a like snorer and shit. I'd be looking like, oh, what do I fuck with you?
God damn.
But you be like, but the sex was so good. You just like, maybe I'll learn to love you all the way, baby. I'll just learn.
Right. Don't listen to Tony. Don't listen. He said, I'm going to learn to love you. If you hate that shit, like, get on a sleep, or what do they call it, a CPAP machine or something. Tell her put it on while you're hitting it from the back. Like, You'll be all right.
But you're right though. You're right. You're right. We have to be able to set we got to be able to set boundaries in the situation, right? The key word is boundaries. We need to be able to say,
Right.
all right, what I'm looking for, I got to make sure I'm not putting anything above that. So it's like if the sex is really good, but you know the connection ain't all the way there, don't have sex with them. Continue to get to know them, because there's two things there. Maybe you're going to end up hurting yourself, or you're going to hurt them, which neither one of those are good. But I think in immature relationships, we do that, thinking that we're just supposed to put up with the dysfunction. Go ahead, TJ.
Or if that's all it is, then just keep it there. I think sometimes we get a little self-conscious. We don't want to be called a hoe, women don't want to be called a hoe. I think men sometimes internalize that little hoe thing, because I guess it's expected of us. But I mean, I don't think we'd like to be called hoes either. But if that's what it is, then just keep it there, because I think at the end of the day, you both know, because I guess most of us are adults here, so but age does not make an adult, and sometimes you're dealing with children, and sometimes folk will attach because it's good, but you aren't supposed to be attaching with them, and you have to know that it is what it is, and either you're mature enough to allow it to stay that way, or you can just make the disconnect because you're looking for something a little bit more.
Yeah, that also goes into communication as well, though, because you also have to communicate that, because a lot of people do, like, that's where you got the whole term fuck boys and fuck girls and shit like that. It's because they're misleading people. Like, I know back in my days when I was dating, if we were just fucking, I'm okay with that. If that's what it is, I could readjust to the scenario. This could be the next situation, to propel me to the next situation. Because if we're just fucking, cool, I still got respect for you. But if you doing all that shit of like playing into the emotions, going out on dates and like giving them you leading them all the way to the fucking water, and then you just take the shit away from them, like, no, we just fucking, like, no, bro, you're at that point you're misleading people and you're not communicating. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Whether whether you're too scared to hurt their feelings or not, don't worry about that. Say exactly what your intention was. If I'm fucking with so-and-so woman and all I see is that, I need to say that so I can give her the choice to be like, hey, I want this or I don't want this. Because if she doesn't want that, she need to go and then look for the person that's going to be that man for her, instead of me sitting over here and doing fuckboy shit. That's going to then, add one to my karma, and then two, put some bad juju on her.
Right. It can work so many different ways when you do it that way. So you always have to watch yourself when it comes to things of that nature. When you were saying that, one thing came to mind with my ex is, I remember out of all the people that she talked to, the first time I met all of her friends and family, this older lady, I helped this older lady had something heavy at that house. So I said, I'm being a gentleman. I said, hey, look, I'll put it in your truck for you, no problem. She said, you're such a gentleman, unlike the last guy she was with. I said, hey, I appreciate that, but I ain't worried about him, because if he was as good as she thought he was, he would be here and not me. And she told her when I had walked off, saying, hey, if you're not ready for a relationship, tell that man today, because he's ready. He's a husband. The character of who he is a husband. So if you're not ready for it, don't take him in. And she did like she always do. Every day is opposite day with her. So she was like, well, I'm not ready, but I'm gonna take him in as that anyway. And all through the relationship, there was like red flags, like she was flagging down something in NASCAR. So many red flags, and there were huge red flags. But nevertheless, I think about that. That's one of the main things I think about, where someone older had to tell her, and that was married, had to tell her, if you're not ready to be a wife, don't try to be with him, because he's ready to be a husband. He's there already. So oftentimes what happens is we don't we don't look at it as, okay, I'm ready to be a husband or I'm ready to be a wife. I'm just ready for some dick. I'm ready for some pussy.
Or some
And
company. Or
some company. I got somebody I can watch a movie with.
or
Or, you know,
somebody to pass the time with too. Because let's not even put it there. Like, they know who you're about. Like, one thing I know about you, Phil Mac, you don't give off no iffies. Like, you ain't no iffy type of dude. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Yeah.
if I walking into this being like, well, maybe he's interested, maybe he's not. No, they know exactly what the program is from the
Right.
beginning. And sometimes it's like there's some people that are just users.
Yep.
That doesn't mean they're bad people all the way around, but there are people that are users. They find that type of person. They're like, well, I'm not really ready for that, but maybe I can make myself get ready for it, like what I just said. And then they keep playing the motions, and then they take it back a little bit. They do all the vacations. They do all the dates. They ain't stopping that, because you could have somebody else filling all them damn positions, but they still playing that because they know it's a catch. But like, maybe I'll work myself into it. And it's very selfish on their part. It's very selfish.
Right. Exactly. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I think sometimes fellas will play the game and try. It's a lot of fellas are caught up in the chase, and they will do what they have to do to bag to get them, even if it means showing off your boyfriend husband potential, even though you have boy, to be honest. And all of it is all in the chase. Or for the female, sometimes people don't know how to be single, or don't want to be single, or not used to being single, and they just want to belong to somebody. And it's unfair. Tony said it earlier. We have to do our work in being whole. Because coming into a situation as broken people, we transition our brokenness into other people, and it's not fair to them.